this book is really thin. Every chapter is 3 pages. There are only 10 chapters. Takes an hour to read. 1 hour to read, and the captions are extra. Maybe 15 minutes. It's been tested. That's it. Go. Let's go. Okay. Urbanism. Single project. 6 ways of doing it. Urbanism has slack. There's always choice, and one of the choices is to make it agrarian. You can make it this, you can make it that, you can make it the other. But one of the ways you should test every project is, can it be local food intensive? Go! Oh, town centers. Forget those town centers that you have to buy to get the people together. Get together to organize, to make food, to grow the food, to process the food, to sell the food, to eat the food, and to celebrate the fact that you've done all that on time and the tomatoes haven't died. It's a good way to get together. And by the way, none of these barns need anything. First thing you do, however, is to actually try to save farmland where it lies. First you try to save the farmland. There's a way to do it. Legislation, land trusts, etc. But it helps a lot if you build a market square. The market square actually multiplies the value of the food. This is an urban plan for a place that wanted to do that. This is, in fact, Onondaga County, New York. One of the things that farmers do is they sell bits of land. They destroy the farming. They don't have to do that. One of the things that actually land trusts might do is actually build villages, and the villages themselves actually take up the real estate that is necessary, the real estate pressure. That's one way to save it. In St. Bernard Parish near New Orleans, there are different ways to grow food. One is agricultural retention. Keep it where it is. The second one is urban agriculture. Second term, build it in the existing cities if the city loses population. That's called urban agriculture. Another way, it doesn't have to be the inner city, it doesn't have to be Detroit, it can actually be suburbia. You can take malls, you can take strip shopping centers, turn them into market squares. That also works. Always remember, retrofitting suburbia is what you're going to spend most of your lives doing. That's where it's at. Agricultural urbanism, there are 4 terms. Agricultural urbanism is the 3rd term. It's actually putting a farm adjacent to the community. So it has urban agriculture. You basically contract to buy the food, but you don't actually grow the food. The society is not based on growing the food, it just consumes it. You can do it lots of different ways. You can save the orchards, you can actually make farmsteads. You can make money doing it. Okay, sometimes there are hybrids. Some people are consuming the food, some people are growing it. Not quite as separate as a farm. This, when people grow the food, when they actually commit to do it, it's called agrarian urbanism. By the way, don't worry that tough work is being done by other people able and willing to do it.
Good.
There is paid labor. In fact, there are some pretty sophisticated layouts that actually allow you sometimes to grow the food yourself, and sometimes you get bored or you can't make it when the beans are ready, and you have actually a serious farmer that helps you out for the tough stuff. Stuff before 5 o'clock in the morning you don't want to do. Mud is not all that great if you're over 15. Hey, listen. You can also, these places that we make to drain the food, to drain the water, you can grow food in that in the meantime. It's only the bottom that gets wet. Don't worry about that. Sometimes you should want to look at the food being grown and eat it. You can do a rural weave. So you can do an urbanism, and the farmers are behind you. The transect, as usual, assigns and allocates the different ways to grow food. Not everybody has a tractor. Some people just have a window box. Man, does this thing know anything? Does it have a clock? Okay. Okay, here's a transect. New drawing for the transect, agricultural. Okay, growing food, I think, is not really just one more thing. It is the thing. It's one of the ways you can structure the society, structure the typology, structure the public space. All of these things that transit handles. One of the things it is learning to do is what kind of animals you have, how many chickens, depends on where you are. Okay, how many chickens, what you grow. Here it is. These are the different types of gardens. According to the transect, this is the kind of food you can grow. Only the really big ones and the really small ones are monocultures. The big tractor farms grow one thing. The The window boxes grow one thing, but actually all the middle can grow a lot. Everybody can have bees, everybody can have fruit, everybody can have vegetables. Very interesting where the city and the landscape meet. That's where the action is, as in old ecotones. Lots of different ways that you can actually farm, big, medium, and little, and still be associated to society. You don't have to give up on society just as you're farming. And once you're within the city, there are different ways to do it. Sometimes on the ground, where you can get sunlight to the ground. Sometimes when you can't, you do it on the roof. Lots of cool stuff happening on the walls. It gives you a whole new architecture. You're tired of the old traditional architecture? Grow food in the walls. Whole new layout, lots of innovation when the sun has to hit the ground, because everything has to face southwest. Very cool, asymmetrical streets. Freak them out at Harvard. By the way, not faking. You don't have to fake it. It's already weird. Interesting stuff. Both density, both urbanism and agriculture works on acres. You can actually do calculations if you want. By the way, everybody grows relative to how big they live. You have a big lot, you grow more. You have to compensate for the way you impact the earth. You can do it with a city in Scotland, you can do it with a town in Scotland. All of these are transects. Okay? If you want to live in an apartment, just do the window box. If you want the big spread, you better start thinking about manuring and composting and actually using your own shit. Some really cool projects. They do lots of cool things, from processing the water, as I'll show you. By the way, don't forget the woods. You can go hunting, you can go foraging, berries, nuts, mushrooms are there. So the way you handle the water, the way you go hunting, the way you do big farms, little farms, even the schools are related to the people who actually grow the food. By the way, you know who the experts are? You know who the labs are? Those terrific Guatemalans that come up, they actually know how to grow food. We are pikers compared to the Central Americans. They actually do it for a living. Bring them up, learn how to do it. You've got to give them a place to live. One of the things that you have to do is you've got to have a theory. Don't get anywhere without a theory. They don't pay you the big academic bucks. So we've got a theory right here. You can read about it. They're wrong, theoretically wrong, provably wrong in their terms. Not our terms. We knew that. Their terms are wrong. Last chapter. Yeah!